Hello and welcome to the 2013 edition of Journey to the Throne. I can tell you, viewers, that we have some tough competition this year between the 7 beauties vying for the Miss Dominica crown. And right now I am joined by Miss Kelshia Breezie of St. Joseph. Kelshia, nice of you to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, gonna get straight to it. Why did you decide to enter this pageant?
Well, Pearl, I decided to enter the Miss Dominica pageant 2013, not only for the opportunity to get a scholarship, but as well to showcase my talent and go out there and show young girls from St. Joseph who come from a humble background as myself that we can go out there and do something for a family, get a name for ourselves.
How prepared are you for the pageant?
Very prepared, I must say. Practice is going on okay. It's tough, like you said, but I'm prepared.
Why should you be chosen to represent Dominica?
I think I'm the best candidate for the job. And I should be chosen because, you know, I have what it takes when it comes to beauty, poise, elegance, and intelligence as well. You know, you come into this pageantry, we're thinking it's all about being beautiful and dressing up, but then it's not. You have to be well-rounded, as someone who can relate to people, and that's what I am.
Since signing on to participate in this pageant, has any aspect of your being changed?
Yes, I'm going to be completely honest, yes, because before I have to admit, I am still jovial, but I was really loud. I love to laugh. So you would find me laughing. I don't want to say I wouldn't care where or how it happened, but I was someone who loved to laugh and really loud. And now, being a contestant in the Miss Dominica pageant, you have to be elegant, you have to be poised, and someone younger girls can look up to. So it has changed me a lot, and I'm really thankful for that change.
But laughing is therapeutic, so don't tell me that you've stopped laughing.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I guess you noticed I haven't stopped laughing. But when I said like the change, sometimes you may find young girls laughing on the streets, and I'm one who loves to crack jokes. So you would have found me a lot laughing on the streets, cracking jokes. So yes.
Okay, coming from the culturally diverse community of St. Joseph, all right, one would say that you are probably versed and well-rounded when it comes to culture. Your bio talks about you taking part in community activities. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, I am on the Carnival Committee in St. Joseph. I am the one who organizes the young girls, or the younger children I should say, because it's girls and boys, for the costume band in St. Joseph, because we have our own opening. We come to Roseau, yes, but usually the Saturday after the official opening in Roseau, we have our own opening. So I prepare the younger ones for that. I design the costumes. Hopefully other Dominicans might be able to see my work in the future. So that's where I really showcase my talent, or I'm really taking part in Carnival, is in my community and taking charge of the younger ones.
In your view, name 3 of the most amazing aspects of St. Joseph.
3 of the most amazing aspects of St. Joseph is that 1, you can come to St. Joseph and feel like you're home. You may be from Roseau, Portsmouth, but you come to St. Joseph and you feel like you're home because we are warm people. That's 1. Another aspect is that, we're filled with nature around us. The mountains that are surrounding St. Joseph. You could hike up all the way up to the high school, because the high school is actually situated close to the mountains. And we're filled with our natural resources, which we don't harm. You could come to St. Joseph and pick a grapefruit in St. Joseph, canips, all these other fruits you can get in St. Joseph. And 3, we keep our culture alive in St. Joseph. For example, last night, when I went home from practice, and I drove through the village, I saw Sensei, Lapo Cabwit, everyone in the village dancing, and it was amazing.
Nice, nice. I'm sure that's a wonderful experience.
Yes, it is.
And don't you wish that other people would be able to experience what you do?
Yes, I do.
After Tropical Storm Ophelia, right, St. Joseph was one of the communities hit the hardest across Dominica. What's your knowledge of the assistance that government gave to the people of St. Joseph?
Well, from what I know, the assistance from the government has been tremendous, because a lot of persons lost their homes, their electrical appliances, and for the vehicles, a lot of persons lost their vehicles. Although the government could not give back all of it, which is expected, but they helped a lot. From what I know, persons were given monetary funds to help them rebuild themselves, And you know, it was a good initiative that government took up to come and help persons from St. Joseph who lost things due to stomophilia.
Are there any other projects ongoing in your community?
There are. We have the Yes We Care program, which is a really great program I think that the government did. Thumbs up to the government for doing that, because in St. Joseph there were a lot of old persons, or the elderly persons I should say, who have no support from their family members, who might be abroad. And so it's great that the government could send, or rather gather some persons from the community to go out there and help them, you know, the everyday living. As well as I see that they rebuilt, or I should say, help persons whose houses were not as strong as they are supposed to be. And that is really great, because the older folks need that kind of support.
Name one challenge that St. Joseph is faced with, and if you were parliamentary representative for your community, what would you do to change?
Well, one challenge that St. Joseph is faced with currently is, you know, forward thinking. Most of the persons in St. Joseph are still thinking backward, or they tend to think backward. We need forward thinking in St. Joseph. And if we do that, persons will be able to go out there and showcase their talents and their skills to put St. Joseph back on the map where it's supposed to be. If, you know, I were the parliamentary representative for my community, I would try to put together a foundation, or rather create a forum where young persons can come out and express themselves. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay, so government has recently invested, or is going to invest $2 million into feeder roads across the country. How important do you think feeder roads are to Dominica's economy at large?
It is very important to have feeder roads, because for one, it will help the farmers save easier access to their farms. So it is important, you know, that government can inject funds into that part of it, because the farmers, like I said, you know, it will be a lot easier for them to transport their goods back and forth from their farms. And that way it would help Dominica's economy grow a little more.
The country poverty assessment identified St. Joseph as being one of the poorest communities in Dominica, maybe the poorest community in Dominica. How did that make you feel, knowing that you're so passionate about your community?
Well, you know, and that is something that I've been speaking about, Pearl, because I believe that the survey that they did and came up with this conclusion, you know, it must have been based on the financial part of it. But St. Joseph is not poor. We're rich. In fact, I feel rich just being here with you today in this interview. You know, so St. Joseph is, although we were labeled the poorest constituency, I don't believe that we're poor. And I'm very passionate about that. That's why my platform for the Miss Dominica pageant 2013 is uprising from psychological poverty. Because we may have the mindset that I don't have a lot, I don't have wealth, but we're forgetting that we have so many other things to be rich about. Like our culture, what's poor about Jeff Joe? The deceased Jeff Joe, what's poor about that? What's poor about what happened last night? Everyone on the street enjoying themselves, Sensei and Olapo Kabwit, what's poor about that?
Very well said, very well said. Okay, so about Kelshia, who or what inspires you?
What inspires me the most, or who inspired me the most, is my eldest sister, Miss Breezie. She works in the HR department at the National Bank of Dominica. Because, you know, she has shown me that although we may come from a humble background, that she went out there. Whatever she did, whatever she had to do to make it, you know, and that she inspires me for that. I want one day to be like her.
If you had one message for the world or for Dominica, what would it be?
If I had one message for Dominicans right now, it would be for us to come together, think together, communicate with each other, and work on our customer service. That way we can improve our tourism spectre in Dominica. And once someone comes to Dominica and visit, and you treat them with such warmth, you make them feel welcome, I can assure you they will come back.
That's very important.
Yes, it is.
I know the night of the pre-show, your talent was revolved around customer service. And you did say that if you were chosen, that you would tell us which store.
Pearl, it's funny that you brought that back up, because a lot of persons have been meeting me on the streets and saying, "Hi, Miss Breezie, you made it to the top 7."
Right.
But to be honest with you, it was a makeup store that I was talking about. There was no actual store.
Okay, that's nice to know. What's your definition of beauty?
Well, a lot of persons tend to believe that beauty is on the outside, but my definition of beauty, it comes from the inside. Because sometimes you see someone look very pretty, perfect nose, straight eyes, beautiful lips, but as soon as they open their mouth, it's like, oh my God, she's ugly, you know? So my definition of beauty comes from within.
You love dancing.
Yes, I do.
And your love of dance has led you to take part in your village's cultural group. Tell me about that experience.
Well, it was a really great experience because I realized that I was really passionate about dance when I went to high school. On Teachers' Day, I would gather up a group of children and said, you know what, we're going to do a dance for the teachers. You know, and then I said, you know what, I worked with Kimberly, she's a past contestant for last year. And Kimberly and I what we did was we went to Kelva, Daru, which was our power rep, and we spoke to him, so he assisted us. And, you know, we put together a team of people, we gathered around the younger folks from St. Joseph, and we started doing cultural dances. And dances for carnival. We have one mini flag wavers. It may not be as huge as the NBD flag wavers, but we're getting there.
You are sponsored by Aid Bank and Clare Harbor. Tell us a little about your sponsor.
Well, sponsored by Aid Bank, like I said, and the Clare Harbor community. This is something I want to make clear to everyone. Because, you know, my sponsors, they have a very good business relationship. Because Clare Harbor actually, they rent from Aid Bank and Canefield Industrial Estate. And my sponsors came on board, well, Aid Bank came on board thanks to my power rep, Honorable Kelva Taru, who went out there, and I have to use the word beg because that's what he did to ensure I got a sponsor. He went out there and seek sponsorship on my behalf. And the Clare Harbor community, the way, well, it came about through my staff members, through my team. Clare Harbor on its own didn't say, you know, I want to sponsor you, the company, because, you know, it's an outsourcing company. They didn't come on board and say they want to sponsor me. It's the agents, the staff, everyone supporting Clare Harbor who came on board and said, you know, Kelshia, you don't have a sponsor and we want to sponsor you, so I'm going to give you 5. And someone else said, I'm going to give you 20, persons gave 100. And that's how the Clare Harbor community came about. And I'm really thankful to them, you know, for taking this up and ensuring that they sponsored me.
And I'm sure you won't.
I won't disappoint them, no at all.
Okay. Each contestant has a platform, something that's dear to them. Kelshia, I want you to tell your viewers what your platform is and why it's important to you.
My platform is Uprising from Psychological Poverty. And the reason I chose this platform is because recently St. Joseph was labeled as the poorest constituency on the island. And like I said before, St. Joseph is not poor. There is nothing poor about St. Joseph. We're rich with nature, we're rich with our culture, and our love for each other. So I want to go out there and show the rest of Dominica that I come from St. Joseph and there's nothing poor about me taking part in the Miss Dominica pageant. So this is the reason I chose this platform, and I'm going to try my best and ensure that I am crowned Miss Dominica 2013 so that St. Joseph and the rest of Dominica can see I'm not poor, because I am from St. Joseph. I'm rich with talent, beauty, and intelligence.
Very well said. That was Miss Kelshia Breezie with her platform Uprising from Psychological Poverty. Be sure to join her on the night of February 8th, where I'm sure she'll captivate you. This is it for Journey to the Throne. See you next time. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Hello and welcome to the 2013 edition of Journey to the Throne. For this year's Miss Dominica pageant, I can assure you that there is some tough competition out there between the 7 beauties vying for the Miss Dominica title. And right now we're joined by contestant number 4, Miss Fatima Noel, representing Saint Sever. Fatima, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for welcoming me.
You're welcome. Okay, so the million-dollar question. Why did you enter this competition?
My main reason for entering this competition is not just for the scholarship and the fact that I will be an ambassador for Dominica, but I also want to be a spokesperson for the young people, especially those who grew up without fathers, since I am a living example myself. I grew up without my biological father, and I want to let these young people know that no matter what you put yourself into, you can get through in life. You can make it without your father, without your mother, and then just represent for them, let them know that they can come to me. If you need to speak to anybody, I'm available. Even with the fathers, I also want to reach out to them and let them know that sometimes it's not your fault, and we, the children, we still love you and we cherish you, and we just want you to know that we still need you in our lives.
Okay. So much emphasis is placed on fathers who are not absent, who are absent. But what about the fathers who are present?
Oh, well, I want to compliment those fathers. You're doing a very great job. We appreciate you for that. We look up to you for that. And I wish that all of the other fathers would have done the same. But I mean, we're living life and everybody's not the same. Everybody is different. So it takes each different individual to make a community and to make the world itself.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so about the pageant, how prepared are you?
I am saying that I am 98.9% prepared right now.
Why?
Because I am still waiting to get all my stuff here in Dominica. So once they have arrived, then I can say I am completely prepared. But as to, in terms of my mindsets, my goal, my preparations, I am ready.
Tell us, what sets you apart from other contestants?
Besides being quiet and driven and determined, I believe that I have this hunger for getting what I want in life. And due to the fact that I grew up without my biological father, hence the reason for my platform, it has given me this extra push that I need. And I know that that determination I possess, trying to get somewhere knowing I had no father, well, my biological father with me, trying to speak out for these young people, trying to get them somebody to represent and just make them feel comfortable and content in themselves, I think that is what set me apart.
Not having your biological father, did that leave you in a sense of not knowing who you are, always searching to find out who you really were?
I grew up with a mother who was a strong spiritual lady, and I remember every morning we would sit with mommy and have Bible study, and she will always tell us that you are special and you have a reason for being on earth and you were set apart by God. So she always told me that I have a reason for being alive and I have to fulfill that purpose that I have on the earth.
Good. I'm glad that you said that, because that leads me to my next question. What role does God play in your life?
The first and the main role. I consult him in everything that I do. I look up to him, I respect him. Even before I entered the pageant, I pray and I say, Lord, if it is your will, then I will win. If it is not your will, then I accept it. Because whatever he does, it's for a main reason, a benefit. Every disappointment is a blessing, and God has his goals. He has a goal set for each and every one of us, and he knows what is next for each and every one of us.
This program is named Journey to the Throne because essentially it is a journey, and it's a journey to a throne, right? How has your journey been thus far?
I cannot say it was easy. I cannot say it was a slide. There were ups and downs. I went through a few challenges, but every challenge in life makes you a stronger individual, and that is what I'm happy about. I know that after this journey, after this competition, after this Miss Dominica pageant, I'll be more mature, I'll be more ready and equipped to take on any challenge that comes before me.
Has any aspect of your being changed totally from being in this pageant?
I would not say I have been totally changed in any aspect or way. I have always been not just quiet, but I was always bold and I always knew what I wanted. So I might have tamed down a little though. I was a little more outspoken, and right now I have learned to take my time, be cautious, think before I speak, be aware of the places that I go and who I am seen with, just to calm down everything, because the public, they are looking at me and I have to, you know, live up to a certain expectation that they have.
Describe yourself in 2 words.
intelligent, and driven.
Driven is a nice one. Okay, so you are representing Saint-Sever. You attended primary school in Soufriere, and you also attended the Dominica Grammar School in Roseau. So you've moved about quite a bit. Tell us about your fondest memory from Saint-Sever and any other place that I just mentioned.
I don't have many memories as a child as to when I was born, because although I was born there, I left at 3. But I have been to Saint-Sever every Easter, every Carnival, Christmas and Easter holiday. But in terms of my fondest memories as a child, I would say it would be getting up in the mornings, 3 o'clock in the morning, to go to the market with my mother, because I love that. She would go to the market and sell her produce, because we had a garden in Gallia, and she would go there to sell her stuff, and I would ensure that I fight against my brothers to be the one to go there with her.
Why did you choose to represent Saint-Sever if you left there at 3?
Because that is my home. I was born there, my family is from there, my mother is from there, my grandparents, going there every holiday. And I am not just representing Saint-Sever though. I represent Saint-Sever, Petit Soufriere and Good Hope, Gallion, Soufriere and Scotshead, and I also represent Shopford, where I live.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of representation for one person. For the pre-show, you performed your talent so gracefully in Dominica's national wear. If you lived in a foreign country, how would you help people understand your culture?
Dominica is filled with beauty. And one thing that I have always admired with our culture is the dances that we have. The quadrille, ballet, jinping. And although I am not a perfect dancer of these, it is my aim and my desire to perfect them. And that is one thing that I would portray as a foreigner, well, in a different country about Dominica. I don't believe that it will only attract people to Dominica, but get them involved and want to participate in our dances.
Okay. Are you knowledgeable of any government initiatives taking place in and around your community?
Definitely. In Saint-Sever, the government has, well, they instilled a gas station to provide gas for the fishermen. So the villagers from Petit Soufriere, Good Hope and Saint-Sever, since it's a fishing community, they would get gas from that station to provide gas to go on the sea to fish. And also the school, the government has put a grand, beautiful school in the center of the communities, which is Saint-Sever, where all the different villages, Petit Soufriere, Good Hope, Saint-Sever, Mopo, Deepa, they can go to school right there.
In your bio, you talk about business management, something that you would like to further your education in. Managing the affairs of a country is considered a business, okay? So essentially it's business management. Education has been a top priority for the government of Dominica. How important do you think that is to the country's economy?
Dominicans are very intelligent, and I know that many young people, they have the skills, they have the wisdom, but they just lack the finances to support that. I know that if most of our people, or if all of our people are educated in Dominica, it will bring us to the top level, because it means that knowing that no, they are not yet educated and they are doing so well, they are doing so much for the country. If education was the main focus, if they get the education that they need, then they can get to that level where they can not just develop themselves, but develop Dominica on a whole.
What are your strengths?
I am positive. I don't let anything discourage me. Although it might hinder me for a few seconds, I just get rid of it real quickly. And my voice.
Your voice. Tell us about your voice.
I am blessed with a lovely voice in terms of singing. I have done competitions before. I was a part of every choir wherever I have been. I even went to the States for a few months. I was singing. So I know that is one strength that I possess, that voice of mine.
What's a weakness of yours?
I might sometimes take a little time to think, but it's because I always want to be right. So I think the weakness in that is always wanting to be right and not wanting to acknowledge that I can be wrong when I am not right.
How would you define beauty?
Beauty comes from within. Being genuine, being pleasant, being humble, and humility has a lot to do with it. I believe that is what defines beauty in my terms, because sometimes you can have the most pleasant face, and when you speak or the way that you deal with people, it could turn them off. So you need to know how to approach people, how to be calm, how to be nice, have a nice demeanor, and just always smile from within. That defines beauty.
What can Dominicans expect from you on the night of the show?
I can guarantee class, dignity, poise, talent, everything that Dominica is looking for from me, I will give that to you on that night.
Your sponsor is Fast Cash. Tell us a little about your sponsor.
Fast Cash is a small loan corporate business. We provide, I'm saying we because I am no part of Fast Cash. We give loans, well, for weddings, going to school, if you have an impromptu medical emergency, you can come for a quick loan to get your appliances, pay cash. Fast Cash is operational to give you these few things that you need. They have been operative for 6 years, and within the 6 years that they have operated, I am the first contestant that they have sponsored, which I am proud of. And Fast Cash is your money, your way, always on time. You could apply for a loan today and get your money on the same day. They have been a great team so far. I want to particularly point out Alice and Lester. They have been very supportive, putting everything together for me, and just being a great, generous team.
Nice. Each contestant has a platform, something that is dear to them. Fatima, I want you to talk to your viewers about your platform and why it's so important to you.
My platform is paternal absenteeism. I chose this platform because, as I said, I always like to share my own personal experiences. I grew up without my biological father, and I have seen or spoken to many people who also grew up without their fathers. Through high school, college, many people my age were telling me I don't have my father, I have a stepfather, and I have seen the impact that it has had on their lives. For example, the young ladies, they would turn to men, older men, to get that fatherly figure that they desire. The young boys would turn to drugs, to crime, because they need that role model, that fatherly figure in their lives. And because they don't have it, then they result to other things that can damage their lives. So using paternal absenteeism as my platform, I intend to reach out to these people, let them see that they can make it in life, and reach out to the fathers as well, and find out what is the roots of the problem, and get them to meet up and work things out.
Paternal absenteeism was Fatima Noel's platform. Be sure to join her on the eve of February 8th, where she'll be representing San Sever and a long list of other communities. I'm Fontaine. That was it for this edition of Journey to the Throne. See you next time.